sit back, buckle up and brace yourselves. This is Chennai Live, and once again, my friends, we have something very, very exciting. Mr. Jayaram from Arappor Iyakkam, when you speak about it, it sounds very, very exciting. And then we realize behind this excitement, there's a sense of education. There's a heavy sense of ignorance that maybe we have not learnt or understood or acted upon. India today is not split into north, south, east, or west. It's split into two opinions. One that says India is the mother of democracy, and one that says in the past few years, because of certain incidents, it is the murder of democracy. On one side, Mother India. On one side, some people say it's the murder of a faith, murder of a system, murder of a belief of what a country is. Has that sense died? I want to talk to you about this, what has happened, and what is going to happen. I'm very excited to have a conversation with you, Mr. Jayaram. Welcome once again to Chennai Live.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
How happy we have to be, I don't know. But tell me, sir, is it a good time for the country? Is it an unfair time? Happy to be here, but are we happy to be Indians? Today, when you look at the scenario, what's going on, what's your reaction as an Indian today?
See, as an Indian, one thing that we all need to raise above is to say that, if you are truly a patriot, then this is the time. See, questioning the government and being a patriot is something very different. If you want to save your country, if you want to save the people of this country, you should raise above all, fear and all that. And you should question the government of the day if it, practices dictatorship, if it practices, against all democratic or constitutional values for which this nation should stand for, right? So therefore, I think I'm always proud to be an Indian. But this is also the time where we all need to understand our fundamental duties that has been given in our constitution to protect our constitution. So we have a duty today as citizens to talk more and more about democracy, to talk more and more about the idea of India when it was formed, when this constitution came into effect in 1950, right? So when we talk about democracy, I think I want to I want to quote Dr. Ambedkar what he said in his final speech, right? He said that democracy will only be a top dressing in the soil unless we cultivate it, unless we cultivate the values of our constitution. He said equality, liberty, and fraternity are like a trinity. There can't be any equality without liberty and fraternity. There can't be liberty without equality and fraternity. There cannot be fraternity without equality and liberty. So there are these values are very, very important. And much more importantly, he said one thing, which is to understand fraternity. Equality and liberty can be on paper. You can bring about various laws in the country to have equality, to bring about equality. But finally, if you don't treat your fellow citizens as brothers and sisters, if there is no brotherhood, if there is no love and affection for the other people, then equality and liberty can remain only on paper. It can never become a reality. So fraternity is not something that you can bring about amongst citizens by bringing a law. It has to come from the change of heart. So therefore, that is also very, very important. And today, we are at a situation where we have failed in these 75 years to cultivate the idea of democracy. We all citizens have failed in cultivating this much more. So today, as a result of it, we are seeing, various forms of even citizens talking about, dictatorship is sometimes better than democracy. They talk about pluses of dictatorship over democracy and all that. And in support of a specific person. Today, if there is BJP, they say Modi's dictatorship is good. Without understanding the values of democracy that this nation should stand for and the cost that this nation is paying for the dictatorship, for murdering the democracy, democratic values and so on.
You know where I think is the murder of democracy? In my opinion, the murder of democracy comes in when we are using the word democracy so often. In the last 30 years plus of my life, I have not heard the word democracy being used so many times, be it the press, be it parties, be it the common man. The fact that people today are stressing on this word democracy, it means there is a problem. Why would you say, if I can quote what you are saying, we have entered a dictatorship mode? What makes you say that we are under a dictatorship and not in a democratic rule?
Yes, see, we are very fast moving towards dictatorship is what I would say.
Why?
Primarily because of, just look at this election, the way the election is being conducted, right? We are moving towards an election of the form of Russia, where the president decides who should stand in opposition, right? Who should be the person competing against you, not who should be the person competing in your party in different constituencies. It is about who should contest against you in the position, right? So today in India, we are seeing a scenario where we are moving away from whatever little level playing field that was there. We are seeing on one side the ruling party building up huge amount of assets from hidden secret money of electoral bonds, building their assets almost 8 times more than the second opposition party through that. And on the other side, freezing the accounts of the second, largest
Biggest
party,
opposition party.
biggest opposition party, jailing the chief ministers right before election. And so therefore, there is this YouTube video that comes up often, the Aladdin dictator video, where a person starts running and then he shoots all the fellow runners to ensure he wins, right? So that is the kind of scenario we are moving towards. See, this is very, very dangerous. When you say we use the word democracy often, in fact, we need to use it primarily because the value of democracy is something that each and every citizen must understand. Yes, of course, it is about voting. Once in 5 years, you have your power of vote, and your vote is going to decide, where this country is going to go towards. Whether this country is going to go to restore the idea of India, idea of democracy, or whether it's going towards a direction of majoritarianism. I think the problem is also largely because there is a confusion between democracy and majoritarianism. Democracy is not majoritarianism. Democracy is where you ensure that the voices of every citizen is taken into account. The rights of every citizen is taken into account. Majoritarianism is where the voice of the majority prevail over the voice of the minorities. The minorities eventually become second-class citizens of the country. So it is at a crucial juncture where we have to decide whether we are, of course, we are moving towards a majoritarian country with the policies that are being, passed in the parliament and other things. But we have to ensure we restore the idea of India where it is a truly democratic, the country is truly democratic, where all the citizens' rights are ensured, be it the minorities, really in terms of religion, in terms of caste. See, and even within states, if you take a state like Tamil Nadu, we are seeing honor killing. Every now and then we are seeing honor killing. So there is oppression of caste. There is oppression of religion in this country, and it is as, in fact, people in the majority, people like us in the majority, have a bigger responsibility, I think, to protect the rights of the minority.
Very well said. Very, very well said. And I can just think what the people are feeling. I can assume and tell you people வந்து believe பண்றாங்க என்ன சொல்றீங்க நாங்க என்ன feel பண்றோம் that ஆமா maybe it's not going in the right direction. ஆனா பார்க்கும்போது they are seeing but who else is there? நீங்க என்ன சொல்றீங்க right தான். But if not him, then who? We don't have option 2 is what people are believing. Is the opposition, this India that has come together, is that an option?
See, it is not about who should be there as PM. It is more about who should not be there as PM, I think, or who should not be there ruling the country. I am saying that for a country like India, for a state like Tamil Nadu, it has always been the case. In fact, in Tamil Nadu, we have always voted out the ruling party,
Yeah.
right? And I think the reason behind this is not the opposition party is clean, good,
Correct.
and all that, right? But it is because that when you hand over power again and again, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's what we are seeing in terms of India today, right? Where we have already had them in 2 terms, and yes, it is up to each of them to decide whom to vote for. But I'm saying that this country has to be saved. Primarily, our constitutional values have to be saved, and that is what that is the only way we can ensure a just and equitable society.
You know, sir, in the past few weeks, there's been a huge talk which every Indian is actually talking about. Few parties are mentioning very, very ferociously, but there are few people who behave like they don't even hear what's happening, they don't even know what's happening around the country. And what we're talking about now is the electoral bonds, sir. You had said last time that this is amongst the biggest scams in the world. It was the strongest lie that the Prime Minister has said. He assured of transparency, he assured of a fair dealing or transactions of money, and this is the exact opposite you had said. SBI tried to hold the papers back, and eventually, because of the Supreme Court, they had to leak these papers out. Names came out, numbers came out, and everybody saying, look, I told you this was BJP. But it's not like the others were dipped in milk and they were the only one who was corrupt. And I can tell you from my little understanding, sir, each party knew very well what was going on. It was a beautiful partnership going on with every single party. And now, because elections are around the corner, we don't hold hands anymore. It feels like that. What does the numbers, what do the companies, and what does your understanding tell you about this electoral bond scam, which people say the world admits is amongst the biggest scams in the world?
See, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that electoral bond is one of the biggest scams of India. Not in terms of quantum. We have seen much bigger scams in terms of quantum. You take the granite mining scam, you take the beach sand mining scam, it will all run into lakhs of crores. This scam is probably in terms of quantum only 16,000 crores at the maximum. I mean, not all of it could be scam, but yes, at the maximum, because 16,000 crore is what has been sold in total and donated to the political parties. But in terms of the impact, in terms of the effect it is having on this nation, on the electoral democracy of this nation, I think that is why we need to say that this is the biggest scam, because it has promoted political injustice. And in fact, Supreme Court said exactly this word of political injustice. When we talk about the Constitution's preamble, many times we would talk about justice that is social, economic, and political. And we often talk about social justice, we often talk about economic justice, inequality and all that. But we very little talk about political justice. There is political injustice that has happened in this, Supreme Court says, primarily because this scheme was designed in such a way that it is going to be secret for the people, but for the ruling party,
All access.
Yeah, it is not a secret. So, which means the ruling party in the central government has access over who donated to the opposition party. So, therefore, whatever logic that they had tried using, which is to say that companies could be threatened, is very well possible within this electoral bond scheme itself, which they said is the solution. This electoral bond is a solution for the threats that companies could receive, as they said. But this electoral bond scheme itself is designed in such a way that the ruling central government can threaten the firms that gives to the opposition, and in turn build assets only for the ruling party. And that is why we have now seen out of 16,000 crores, half of it, more than half of it, 8,200 crores have gone to one party, which is the BJP. Number two, we have always said that this scheme is a route towards legalizing bribery, which is to say that there is a lot of possibility of quid pro quo, which is now coming out. We are seeing that on May 7 and May 10 of 2019, on one side, this firm called Torrent Power donates 14.9 crores to the BJP. And on May 27 of 2019, 285 crores of their property tax has been waived by the Maharashtra BJP government, saying that it is not in public interest to collect the dues. So, therefore, there are prima facie evidence of quid pro quo that is coming out, and there are these different types of quid pro quo that is coming out. It's not one, as you say, it's not necessarily just one party. It is not just the BJP, but the larger blame has to be on BJP because they designed such a scheme to do this fraud. Number two, they are the biggest beneficiary of the scheme as well. So therefore, the larger blame, of course, has to be on the BJP. And the other parties also needs to be questioned, like the DMK. Yes, there is. Why would Lottery Martin, donate 500 crores of money to you in between 2019 to 2022, when his own firm claims that he has only 200 crores of profit, when his future gaming balance sheet claims, financial statement claims that the worth of the company itself is 1,100 crores. How could he even donate 1,368 crores in total in electoral bonds? So therefore, all these questions has to be raised. But the quid pro quo part is not only stronger, but it raises some serious question on the democratic institutions of this country. For example, the way Enforcement Directorate, income tax seems to be used for money laundering, I would say. ED is supposed to probe money laundering. But here we have a case in the Delhi excise case where Aravind Pharma Sharat Chandra Reddy has been arrested on November 11, 2022. November 15, 2022, Aravind Pharma pays 5 crore in electoral bonds to the BJP. Then in May 2023, he suddenly gets a bail. The ED advocate in the Supreme Court, he says that we oppose on merit, but we have checked this medical condition, it is genuine, and you may decide based on the law. How many cases have we seen such a stand by the Enforcement Directorate? And then this guy gets a bail. Immediately the next month he turns an approver. And then a few months later in November 2023, 54.5 crores is being donated to the BJP. Now there is a money trail as well. That money has gone to the BJP in this Delhi excise scam. So therefore, ED, IT again, December 2023, there is a firm called Rangta Group that is raided. In Jan 2024, that group donates 50 crores to the BJP in electoral bonds the next month. So there is another group called Keventer for the disinvestment. They are being, ED was investigating or inquiring in 2019 is what we hear from the news reports. And during the same period of time, that group donates with all its firm more than 300 crores to the BJP. And much more particularly, one of its firm called Madan Lal, it has only 10 crore of profit. It donates 175 crores to the BJP. So this is why I'm saying that there is money laundering happening. How can a firm that has a profit of just 10 crores donate 175 crores unless some kind of money laundering is happening in this? Unless some kind of black money is moved in this? I mean, it is very, very tough to understand.
Bring logic into this.
Right? So therefore, and let us understand that if for people who are asking whether this was not there before, no, it was not there. previously, a firm, if they have to donate to a political party, there was a ceiling of 7.5% of the profit. So at the maximum, so if a company makes 1 crore profit, they can only donate 7.5 lakhs at the maximum. By removing this cap, when the electoral bond scheme was introduced, they made way for a loss-making company, for a company just earning a profit of 10 crores to donate hundreds of crores.
And
So-
loss-making companies also suddenly become big-hearted, churn money out.
Right, and therefore this is what opens up the possibility of, this clearly shows that there is prima facie evidence of quid pro quo. So these are different things. We saw this mega engineering that wins a twin tunnel project of 14,400 crores in May 2023. In April 2023, they have donated 115 crores to the BJP. So in total, they have donated more than 500 crores. So therefore, there are these lots of different scenarios that has now come out that requires an investigation. The question is, if someone does money laundering, you can go to the Enforcement Directorate and ask them to investigate. Now, when ED itself seems to be used as a tool to bring assets, to bring donations to BJP, now who will do this investigation?
Shouldn't the Prime Minister or isn't the Prime Minister answerable to the people or clarify this issue? Are the people so stupid that no matter what he says, ये मोदी का guarantee है, ये this is our development, this is the future, this is the job, this is the India that I'm going to give you. Are we so stupid that we can't seek that answer from the question that the nation is asking, sir?
Yes, and we must understand for the last 10 years, he has not even conducted one press conference.
Not a single one, sir, because the press speaks for him. The press doesn't speak to him, sir.
Right. So, and this is something that I don't know, you can be a supporter of a political party, but you don't mix your faith within the political system.
Correct.
Right? And once you mix the faith, you believe your political party like a god or something, then it will defy all logic. You won't ask logical questions. You won't even ask these questions to the people in power and so on. So on. That is what is happening in the country today. And media, we have seen how slowly media has been captured at the national level to speak only on one side. Most of the debate is on the opposition, not against the ruling party. So therefore, today we are in this situation. In fact, in a recent interview, just 2 or 3 days back, in a local Tamil channel, Prime Minister has given an interview in which for this electoral bond, he says because of it was electoral bond, now we have data about who gave to whom. Now, can you imagine, this scheme was designed in such a way that no one will know about it. The union government went and argued in the court that the citizens does not have the right to know. It was the Supreme Court which struck down. See, if the Supreme Court had not struck this down saying that this is unconstitutional, let us understand that none of us will know.
Correct.
Mr. Modi promised that he will bring about transparency. He brought about a complete opposite system where there is complete secrecy in it for the citizens to know. Right? Now, because the Supreme Court told the State Bank of India to give the data, and that is why we are having the data. It is not because Mr. Modi told to give the data. So that this is something that people must understand. He is trying to completely hide it by saying that because of the electoral bond, now people are able to see as though he built a transparent system.
In the past few months, BJP has proved it to the country that they are a party for all, sir. So much so that maybe 20-25 leaders who had cases on them, criminal cases on them, they had investigation on them, they had all these problems on them. Suddenly, they joined the BJP. BJP has opened doors to them. And all the cases are vanished suddenly like magic. Number two, those same people become leaders of development, faces of democracy, faces for the youngsters and governance. So, BJP has done so much. It's opened doors for even criminals to walk in from any party, be it the Congress, be it the TMC, be it from any party, sir. Does this make any moral sense of the man who keeps talking about all, and he says this in long speeches, that do a crime and I'll put you behind the bar. He did a mistake there. Do a crime and you join BJP, you'll be in no bar. That's how it is, sir. What is your take on this?
Exactly, and BJP is the washing machine of this country now, the biggest washing machine of this country, where anyone who joins BJP, and we have our finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman saying just a couple of days ago that anyone is welcome in the BJP. And when the question was posed, even a person having 9 CBI corruption cases against them, and she said yes.
Yeah.
Right? And she said anyone is welcome. So which means they are welcoming all criminals. Of course, all criminals are people with criminal antecedents. All are joining the BJP in every state, everywhere that we are seeing. At this rate, I think they will be the biggest criminal and corrupt party of the world very soon. But much more importantly, the question needs to be asked in terms of what is happening to their cases. Today, a news report has come, very recently a news report has come, out of the 25 cases, 23 that they have analyzed, 23 of which they have got reprieve. So which means some kind of incentive has been given. For example, in cases like Praful Patel, who recently joined from the NCP, his CBI case has been closed. BJP accused him of saying that he's involved in a 30,000 crore Air India scam.
Yep.
BJP accused in 2019 saying that he has property dealings with terrorists. And today he has become a patriot, he has become a nationalist, he has become, suddenly all his cases, CBI cases are closed. And so this is, and look at Ajit Pawar. He joined the alliance. He came out and joined the alliance. In fact, he initially came out in 2020. They closed all the cases. He again went back. They tried reopening the cases. And again he has come back now to the alliance. Now they have again closed back. How blatant can this be? So, and then this Assam CM.
Yeah.
BJP, head of BJP of West Bengal. So that Suendra Adhikari, he was named in the Sharda chit scam. His case has been stalled. And then Himanta Biswa, that Narada sting or whatever, that case has been stalled after he joined the BJP. So we are seeing a series of people. Once they join now recently Ashok Chavan, Adarsh housing scam. So there is a lot of people that we are seeing who are joining the BJP, and I think it is some sort of blackmailing is very clearly happening. And we are seeing with that with electoral bond data, as well as in terms of politicians outside as well. And therefore, I think BJP is really a party with a difference.
A difference, not every difference is a good difference, as you said. But, recently, the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, he apologized. He said a huge sorry to the people of Tamil Nadu, sir. He had come to one of these campaigns where he tried to sell the idea of BJP. And he apologized to the people of Tamil Nadu, saying that he's profusely sorry that he doesn't know to speak Tamil. He said, but still you'll have all turned up in lakhs to understand what I'm trying to say. Even though I don't understand or I can't speak Tamil, you'll have come and I'm sorry I don't know the world's greatest language. And he also stated that I'm going to make Tamil language so popular just like the idli and the dosa. And people were clapping. I wanted to just reassert and reconfirm with every person from Tamil Nadu or who knows the culture of Tamil, is Tamil all about idli and dosa? Is it not our history? Is it not our pride? Is it not our tradition? Is it not our culture? Is it not our people? Is it not our practice? That has not been spoken about. I think words have been played beautifully. Politics has been charmed beautifully. But the real emotion of the people have not come out, sir. Prime Minister Modi has not understood the India that the people want. And the problem is he's not listening. He's only speaking. Do you think BJP has a chance in this Tamil Nadu, the way they portray it to be, courtesy DMK or AIDMK, do you think BJP has a stance?
No, see, I think in Tamil Nadu, they don't stand a chance at all. I mean, of course, at the India level, we know that they are probably the favorites there. But here, I don't think in Tamil Nadu, they may be the favorite, right? In fact, I don't even think they will even win one seat or two seats. So they may improve upon their percentage a little bit, I think, but they may not win. Point is, with respect to Tamil language or Tamil pride or other kinds of things that they keep trying to speak about. Recently, they came up with this Kachativa issue. So they are trying to bring about emotional kind of issues to try and see if some inroad could be made. But I would say that people are generally smart enough.
Yeah.
People are to
Seen too
understand
much of
this during the time of election. So, a lot of this is generally spoken at the time of election. We must see what happens after April 19. Look at the amount of funds that is being allocated to Sanskrit and the amount of funds that is being allocated to Tamil by the central government. So if you look at the amount of funds that are allocated, you will know the love of Mr. Modi for Tamil. So therefore, I would say that it is all, you allocate thousands of crore for Sanskrit, not even 100 crore for Tamil. So that is how it is. So therefore, I would say that issues of the people should be the primary point in which elections should be fought.
Correct.
And the issues of people today are price rise. Issues of people are unemployment. We are facing a huge unemployment. As per official data, it was 34%. Now they are saying 40%. And therefore, this huge unemployment that is there in the country. So these are the ones on which the election must be fought for. Issues of the people. Rather, we are issues of education, issues of health. So these are the issues that one must look into. Unfortunately, today, the issue that plays the most are the issues like, they say we have built Ram Mandir, we have built, we want to bring about a 50-year-old issue of Kachativa and suddenly leak two of the documents alone of foreign secretary and the chief minister speaking, and suddenly, when we file RTIs, even on PM CARES fund, they don't give us data. Even after we go to the second appeal, the information commissioners, central information commissioners act like agents of BJP. They say that we can't give you. But on the other side, for, foreign affairs issue, which they generally for other people will exempt, saying that it is exempted under 81A, they have said that give the data within a week's time. On 5th, the RTA is filed. On 12th, it is directed to be given to Mr. Annamalai. So therefore, the question is that, in fact, we are very happy that it has been given. Now we can ask for Rafale deal. What was the dealing between India and France? What were the different background note and all the dialogue that went between the two? All this we can ask, right? So in that sense, it is good. But point is, they are just bringing up these issues before the election, just to see if they could, touch the emotions of people, raise the emotions of people, and through that get some votes. I think these are all cheap politics that is being played.
Today, we might be a frustrated nation, little disappointed, a bit dejected, false promises, false hopes, and things not going the way we would like our India to be. But also, in the past 10 years, the economy has shot sharp. Global image of India has really enhanced. Today, when you go and say we're from India, they look at you and say, wow, that's a growing nation. Money is coming into our country. Corporates are coming in. Investments are coming inside. India is a serious player in the world stage. We've always been hearing India is a developing country. Maybe under this regime in the past decade, we have developed as a country as well. If it is good, let's admit there's also been some good. what is the good in the India that we have lived in the past 10 years?
I'm not sure. I mean, yes, there are certain things that you mentioned, which is like the growth and so on, and whose growth it is the real question. Yes, Adani has grown. Yes, Ambani has grown. But whether citizens have progressed economically is a very serious question to ask. And that is primarily because we are seeing, see, in all these factors that you're talking about, the last 10 years, whatever growth that we have had, it was lesser than the previous 10 years of growth. Number two, if you look at many of the indices that are coming out, on transparency index, we have not progressed at all. In fact, we have come down. On happiness index, we have come down. We are now in the 126th position or so this year, right? And then we are, if you look at the press freedom, we have come down. Unemployment has increased tremendously. And so, therefore, the question is who has grown? Now, if you look at the wealth of the top 1%, it has grown tremendously, yes. But you must understand that we are a nation where the bottom 50% holds only 4% of the wealth. So, therefore, what has happened to them? What progress has been made? So, this is the serious question I think that we must ask, and our focus in terms of whatever work that you do should be to ensure that the lives of the bottom 50%, they grow beyond the vulnerable level. See, the moment there is a natural disaster, they again fall back. They try so hard in their family to work so hard to come above the vulnerability level. And the moment there is a natural disaster, the moment there is COVID, right? We know how people suffered after COVID. Many of them have not been able to, come back to normal even now. The small and medium industries, micro, small and medium industries are all suffering heavily after COVID, right? So there are these different things that we are. So that we are, yes, of course, in terms of which India you want to view is what matters. I think our idea of India should be the people of India, and the progress of these people, the majority of the people that are there in India, is what we must be concerned about. And that has really not shown any progress. In fact, there is only decline over the last 10 years is what I think.
You know, sir, as a nation, we've been told that don't say who you are supporting. Keep it a bit secretive. Keep your support within yourself, is what we've been said. Don't say who you're voting for. We are a very emotional country. We are a very expressive country, sir. If we are supporting a particular cricket team, we will vociferously say, this is my Mumbai Indians, this is my Chennai Super Kings, and we're so open about it. If we love a hero, we go and express love. Somehow, we're slightly holding back to say that maybe our idea syncs more with this party, or we love the idea more with this party. We can't say that the Prime Minister has given the country many assurances. He also has come out with a recent assurance saying that he will get more than 370. He has marked the number as 370. Do you see that happening?
See, I hope it doesn't happen. Primarily because I think a ruthless majority for any party, I would say, is a danger today. And more so, for a third term, right? So therefore, I think they don't achieve that kind of a thing. But on the other side, it is also important that we have to see this as not just a short-term thing; it's a long-term thing. We have to understand that whatever struggle that is going on, it is not about X or Y alone. It is a fight for a certain type of ideology, is what I think, and therefore this is going to be a long-term struggle. So when citizens go out to vote, they have to think about what is the idea of India that they want. And on top of it, they should also definitely look at the candidates who are standing in their constituents.
That is what I think you have brought to the notice, Mr. Jayaram. We are going and saying, I'm going to vote for that party. But let's rewind or reflect a little bit, and we're actually not voting for a party, we're doing that indirectly, but directly what we are doing is voting for a candidate. We look at the emblem, they always tell you, see that emblem பார்த்துட்டு vote பண்ணுங்க. Emblem ஓட leftல வந்து ரைட்டான விஷயம் இருக்கு, அது வந்து candidate ஓட பேரு sir. Look at the candidate, and more importantly, know who that person is, because we have no idea. The name is there, but who is this person? We have no idea, and that is something we have exact transparency in an app that you have brought forward. Tell me about this app, and why should one download it before they vote?
Right, see, during every election, Arappor Iyakkam brings about an app, also set of videos, to inform citizens about the list of candidates that are standing in their constituency. A person, before going out to vote, we feel that they must look at several factors. Ideology could be one factor, yes, that they will be looking at. But much also importantly, equally importantly, they should also look at the candidates who are standing in their constituency. They must look at what is their asset, what is the source of income for the candidate, what is the income tax return that he has filed, what are their criminal antecedents, what is the work that he has done for the public in the past. So many of these things. Part of this information is filed by the candidate themselves in the form of an affidavit before the Election Commission. So our volunteers have put together from the candidate affidavit, they have put together all this information in the form of an app. So this app is called Arappor Iyakkam. You can download it in Play Store or iOS and so on. And in this app, what we bring about is, if you go by click of a button, you're going to go into your own constituency, whichever constituency you belong to, and you will see a list of all the candidates who are contesting. Yaarlam poti podrangalo, everyone will be there. And if you click inside, you'll be able to see their details in terms of what they have, what is their education qualification, what is their age, what is their source of income, what is their profession, what is their income tax return, how much assets movable and immovable that they hold, what is the pending criminal case against them, and all of that.
Is there any candidate that has alarmed you? Oh, ivaro vandu nikraro. Oh, he wants to represent us. I'm sure there are few. Who would you like us to pay attention to and say, these people also want to be leaders?
No, I wouldn't want to call names at this point of time.
You have never been scared of calling names, sir. When you have called names of the strongest people, why fear these names?
I don't fear for calling out the name. I'm saying that people have to, for each of the constituency, in fact, we do not recommend, as part of this app, we do not recommend any candidate. We say that it is a knowledge base where you can get yourself informed about each of the candidate who is standing, and then you analyze and decide whom you want to vote for. And so that is the purpose of this app. Yes, of course, when we built it, we saw certain information. Like, for example, we have put the information of Kadiranand, who is standing in Vellore. He came up with a comment last week when he is campaigning, saying that நீங்க நிக்கிற லேடிஸ் எல்லாம் பலன்னு இருக்கீங்க, 1000 ரூபாய் வந்துச்சா. Like, he was making fun of the 1,000 rupees. They call it as a right of the people. They called the scheme as the right of the people. But then the candidate goes there and makes a mockery of the entire scheme by calling people whether you have, he is going and telling women whether you have applied Fair and Lovely, Pond's powder from the 1,000 rupees that you got. Right? So this is this level of understanding of, their own ideology. So therefore, we looked at his data and we saw that his income has grown 19 times in the last 5 years. His income along with his spouse income was 63 lakhs in 2019 or so. In 5 years, it has grown to 12 crore per annum. Right? And then, so we asked, உங்களோட வருமானம் பலன்னு இருக்கே இந்த 5 வருஷத்துல, you tell this secret to the people so that people நிஜமாவே பளபளன்னு ஆக முடியும். They can also,
shine like
knowing the
this,
secret,
yeah.
how to grow your income like this.
I don't know what was fair there, but nothing was lovely for sure in that. So, sir, is there anyone else like this? What you're saying is let the common man decide. I really respect that. Instead of putting names and saying this is not right, this is bad, you are giving facts. Going back to the principle of a real leader. A leader doesn't enforce. A leader educates, informs, balances the choice of the people. I think that is something that you have done, not just this election. I think you do it not once in 5 years, but you do it 5 times every day. This is your absolute duty that you have taken upon yourself. It is your purpose of life. It is your dedication to the people.
Go out to vote, and before voting, know about each of the candidate who is standing in your constituency. Your vote is very, very valuable, and your duty doesn't end with voting. Between those 5 years, you are the master of the democracy, and if you ask questions, the representatives who are elected must answer for you. You must make them accountable, and so you have a much larger role, not only on April 19, but after April 19 as well. Thank you.
My last question, one word answer, sir. Okay. Prime Minister of India after June, July, who will be the next Prime Minister? One word answer, we'll leave it at that.
I don't know.
That's also one word, sir. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
This is Chennai Live, Radio Redefined.